Coffee Talk Tuesday. I'm here with my co-host back from his honeymoon, Trip Mitchell.
Well, second honeymoon. Let's get it correct.
A second honeymoon?
Yeah.
So this was more of just an anniversary present then?
This was, yes.
Yes.
Okay, we'll get it correct.
Why did you call it a honeymoon then?
We didn't go right after we got married, but we travel a lot, and it's tough being me.
Yeah, it is really,
Yeah,
really tough being you getting back from.
Well, we're a little concerned about the 2 weeks in Europe this spring. We might not be able to go, so we've got to back up.
Right. Well, that's good. That's good.
I know it's tough.
Right.
So how was Chris? Did he do a good? Did he let you talk?
He let me talk way more than you ever let me talk. It was fun actually having him on the show.
Well, I haven't watched it yet, so
But I mean, I did miss you.
Okay, that is the correct answer. So tell me about the show today.
Well, I'm really excited that Rodney is with us. Rodney Smith. I have actually watched him for the last couple of years. The person that was on our show last week that you missed, Yuri Williams, and Rodney came into, they were doing this 50 state, really this tour, I guess, along all 50 states, and I'll let him tell us more about it. But they stopped by here and visited one of my heart kids, and Trey, and I connected with Yuri because he was Spider-Man. But I've also been connected with Rodney ever since then, and he does amazing things as well. And I'm so excited for him to be able to get on and tell his story. And he's actually just started. You just started another tour, didn't you, Rodney?
Yes, ma'am.
So
Rodney, is that your corporate aircraft? What is that? Like a small Learjet you're in?
Yeah, it's a spaceship.
Okay. You look like you're doing it. We're stuck in a hot, sweaty studio in Salt Lake, and Chalese has showered today, so it's all good. But you look like you're styling there. Where are you heading?
California right now. Just leaving Arizona.
Fantastic. Who's your driver?
Me.
Wow, I'm very impressed. I'm old, and so I'll preface this, and I've been in the TV business for a lot of years.
Yes, sir.
But to do something like this 15 years ago would have cost thousands of dollars a minute. And now you're leaving Arizona on the way to California. We can do a live shot.
Pretty awesome.
The technology has come a long way.
So tell us what it is that you're doing right now.
I'm on a 50-state tour for veterans. So this is my 9th 50-state tour. Back in 2017, I came up with the idea to start traveling to all 50 states for my organization, Raising Men, and now Raising Women's Lawn Care Service, to make people aware of the organization. Then eventually I started moving for different causes, customizing lawnmowers for different causes. And now I have about 5 lawnmowers back here in my car. A lawnmower spray painted for Purple Heart recipients, Gold Star family members, POWs, and the American flag. And I'm just going around moving for veterans and the groups that I just mentioned. And then after this 50-state tour, I will auction the lawnmowers off and give them to charities associated with those groups. So I started this tour on Friday. So I'm about 3 days in, and making my way around the West Coast and Midwest and East Coast.
That's a great thing to be doing. How many miles do you ever look before you do a tour like this and go, my God, I'm going to be on the road for 50,000 miles or whatever it comes out to? Do you ever look at that?
I haven't recently, but for this tour, I took a picture of the mileage before I started. So when I finish, I can compare it. But it's a lot of miles.
And well, Rodney, I have a car that has a lot of miles on it, and I realize it's all between Salt Lake and Vegas. So no one feels sorry for me in either accord. But Vegas miles are...
That's about a 6-hour drive, huh? 6. Oh, yeah. Vegas. That's where I stop all the time when I go to Nevada.
Okay. Is it easy to... We are very cognizant lately about veterans and all they've done for us. when you get to a state and you do these things, do you find it's pretty easy to get people to help you out and get the media to cover you?
Well, it's some states it's hard to find people, like especially like places like Nevada. It's hard to find lawns because grass is very rare there. Arizona was a little tricky, but it's kind of easy. I just use social media to my advantage and make posts on social media, and that's how I'm able to find lawns. I'm not too focused on the media. If the media sees something on Twitter or something like that and they want to come out, they can come out. But my focus is just mainly on the people that I'm mowing for at that time on that tour.
So he goes around and mows a lawn for a veteran in every single state. So
And
he goes and mows their lawn, and it's so awesome.
I imagine you have some amazing stories. Do you have a couple that you could share with us of people and how you've impacted them?
Yeah, so especially the veterans. I think the last time I done a 50-state tour for veterans was last May, and I met a World War II veteran, and to hear his story firsthand, he remembers everything just like it was yesterday, and I felt like a little kid being told a story during story time. And there's so many people. I mean, it's so many people I can't even like pick them out, but it's just so many stories. And what we're doing is encouraging others to want to do the same in their city as well.
And sadly, the World War II generation, a lot of these men and women, for that matter, are in their 90s, and these stories are being lost. And Korean War veterans as well.
Yes.
And Rodney, I had a chance to work with a gentleman who served in World War II, got out, started his family, and then had to go back in and fight against Korea. And those stories are amazing. They really are.
So my grandpa, so one of the reasons why I just admire and love what you're doing so much, and I love veterans and hearing their stories as well. My grandpa is 93 years old right now. And last year I went to visit him, just me, because usually I'll take my kids every year. And last year I went just by myself and got to record him telling some of the stories, because he's getting older, and so some things are getting fuzzy and everything like that. But he was in World War II and Korean War and everything like that. He left on a tour to Taiwan for a whole year from my and my dad and my two uncles had to leave for an entire year during that time. So he's got some stories. So I just love hearing the stories as well. And so,
I think it's important, because like when I interview every, it doesn't matter the old veteran or young veteran, everyone I talk to, I do a little interview with them. I think it's important that you get to hear their side and why they decided to serve and what it means to them to serve the country. So those types of stories are very important, especially with our older veterans that served in World War II and Vietnam and those eras.
Yeah.
It is interesting to talk to the veterans of World War II and Korea, World War II in particular, because that was a war that everyone was in. Everyone did something. And then you juxtapose that with Vietnam veterans who were fought in a hugely unpopular war.
Yeah.
Were not celebrated when they got home. And Lee, who's working on this show right now, is a Vietnam combat Marine. Okay. And I am always intrigued by his stories.
Yeah.
And funny enough, we had some problems with a show one time, and I was embarrassed for Lee because the hosts weren't very professional. They drank a lot and swore a lot and told bad stories. And I said to Lee one time, "Is this embarrass you or make you upset?" And he goes, "No, after someone shot at me when I was 18 years old in Vietnam, everything else is kind of pales in comparison."
Yeah.
Well, Lee goes up. Lee is not a young guy. He goes up and cuts his mother-in-law's grass every weekend.
Yeah.
So
okay.
He's doing it. He's doing it.
That's great.
Have you met many women who've served? And I imagine their stories are a lot different.
Yeah, most women that I have met, a lot of them were medics. Some of them served, but they didn't go overseas to get deployed. Some of them, there have been some that have been deployed, but most of them, were just stationed at a base or something like that. But Yeah, there's some, like a lady I met yesterday in New Mexico. She was a medic, and I believe she went over to the Gulf War or something like that.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
Those
Yep.
stories, I can only imagine. Whew.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what is the name of your foundation? Actually, what was it that got you started, first of all, in doing this in 2017? What was your driving force? What made you decide to go and do these tours?
Oh, the organization started in 2016, but in 2015, I was leaving school one day and I came across an elderly man outside mowing his lawn. So I pulled over and helped him out. And that night I just decided I'll start mowing free lawns for the elderly, disabled, single parents, and veterans. And one thing led to another. It turned to an organization, and then started having kids involved and giving back to their community, doing the same thing. And here we are today. Now it's not just raising men now, we also have raising women as well. So we're just trying to encourage both boys and girls to get out there and make a difference in their community with a lawnmower. And we also include raking leaves and snow shoveling and even picking up trash.
Nice.
It's part of the program now as well.
So you actually have challenged, you set a challenge out for kids, and I love this, that they, as soon as they mow 50 lawns, you visit them, correct?
Yeah, so I visit them with a brand new lawnmower, weed eater, and blower. So that's called the 50-yard challenge. Every 10 lawns, they get a different color shirt. And when they sign up, they make a sign saying, I accept the 50-yard challenge. And in return, I'll send them a white Raising Men or Raising Women's t-shirt along with shades and ear protection. And every 10 lawns, they get a different color shirt. And once they reach 50, I take them a brand new lawnmower, weed eater, and blower for finishing this challenge.
That's so awesome. I love it. I want my daughter to do it, actually. She's 12. Well, my son is 8, and he really needs to do it. But my daughter, she's definitely someone that she helps me out so much with my foundation as well.
Okay.
And so I think that she would be an awesome candidate for something like this, because
Yes, ma'am.
so good.
No young boy wants to ever mow the lawn.
Mine doesn't. He helped me one day.
Yeah, no, that was... My dad got us he was the world's worst engineer with Chrysler Corporation. And he got us an electric lawnmower, because it was just, we had the regular push one.
Mm-hmm.
I thought this was going to be great. I shocked myself so bad. Look what happened to me. The idea of having electric lawnmowers, the dumbest,
Man.
having a long cord with a blade that spins, what could go right?
Yeah.
In summer 2004, as a 4-year-old Caleb's body emerged from an overcrowded water park's pool in Utah, every mother's worst nightmare became reality for Chalese Stevens. Would healing ever begin? Without an answer, she experienced truths about deep loss and grief's throttle. By age 40, she awakened to joy and motherhood. Finding 40, available on Amazon and wherever digital copies are sold.